with the 100.
Never in doubt.
And Simon Zach has gone from extinction to a position where he'll be not far off the chip lead if his ace-jack holds up. But he is all in.
Was it too big a raise by Roy Brindley?
Certainly appears like it will be if the king or queen doesn't come. 2 live cards for Brindley. Zach with all the other ones in the deck.
No paint.
Wow.
The king came,
Two
but there's
spades.
a flush draw.
Brindley lives. But for how long? For quite a long time.
Sorry, buddy. No worries.
And this game has gotten ugly, nitty-gritty. Simon Zach, he upends one hand and gets done in by another. 4 face cards out there, ace-jack leading. But the king on the turn gave Roy Brindley a pair. Zach couldn't catch his flush, and he's flushed out of this heat.
Are the blinds capped? At what?
Not yet, they're not. There'll still be 2 levels to go. It's just going to get worse and worse.
Tony
Pass.
Hughes on the button, finding nothing. Roy Brindley with a call or a raise?
Raised to 30,000 total, 15
He
call.
may have that
Call.
10-3 in his head. That was last time he slow played.
Never even flinched in calling there, did he?
No.
He has called a lot of raises. It's probably the right thing there for Brindley to do. No point in slow playing if you know your opponent's going to call. Now what's the move?
30,000.
Just a little bet there, 30,000.
But little does Tweedy know it was actually a rather good flop for him. Had he flopped either one of his cards, he could have gotten in severe trouble. But he didn't lose too much. Well, blinds going up and separation has been achieved. Roy the Boy Brindley with half the chips in play, and really it's a 3-2-1 situation now. 300,000, 200,000 to 100,000. Tony Hughes probably feels like he's chip leader.
Well, considering also, although I'm probably wrong, he hasn't put them on offer. He'd never been having to turn that many cards over to survive an all-in, where it remained to see what brought on the flop. And here he goes with another nice hand.
Call.
Just calling.
So cagey.
So cagey.
And Roy could fall into this trap,
No raise.
but he hasn't.
Northern Ireland against Southern Ireland.
I think Tony Hughes wanted a raise there.
Roy Brindley living in Dublin. And he's hit his king. The luck of the Irish goes both ways.
All in.
Well, this is a massive test for Roy Brindley. He's got top pair, but he's got an incredibly weak kicker.
Cool.
And he
Call.
calls. And
He's
he's going
called.
to love what he sees.
He does. Tony Hughes has only got to catch only a jack or ace to catch to get out of trouble. And this is where the slow play backfired on him.
Yep. It's tricky until it goes wrong. He's desperate for an ace now, or a jack. He's got 7 cards working for him, twice. It's 2 pair now. He's down to the jack.
And that's it. Tony Hughes smoked out. Ace Lady looked good. But that last hand, the money went in on the flop, and by that time Brindley had caught and passed him. Bit of a redraw, but kings and fives beating ace high. And this is head up now, and quite an interesting battle. Two left,
So he's
all
showing
to
their
play
wolf.
for. Two
Nice
players
ball.
who deserve to be here, Steve. Roy the Boy Brindley, who's taken the chip lead. And his opponent, Darren Tweedy, who has been a force in this game from the start.
Yes, it's a fascinating matchup.
Okay, handshake please, gentlemen.
For much of this final, Darren Tweedy was chip leader, but no longer. They both won roughly the same amount of hands. A little less on the back frequency for Roy Brindley, but he's had some big pot swings and finds himself with a 2-1 chip lead.
How much play do you see left in this? Blinds, of course, 10 and 20,000.
Well, we were talking to Roy before the start of the match, and in a way he was predicting the outcome of a heads-up
Call.
with this blind structure, that there is just enough gameplay left in to make it a few manoeuvres. Blinds of 10 and 20. The small stack with 200,000.
Check.
Just enough perhaps to start
Sorry.
No,
making
No,
moves.
sorry.
no, it is. That's check, check. Both checked.
Brindley may have given away an opportunity to steal there. And now Darren Tweedy has Irish position, as they call it.
Check.
First
Check.
chance to bluff.
Check, both checked.
First bet you would think at the moment wins it. Should a queen come? Change much?
20,000.
That's lovely stuff from Darren. You know, we had seen him slow down. He was doing quite a bit of bluffing in the early stages of this match. Then he slowed down, and
Someone
now
said the
he's
button
kicked it
X
back
first.
into gear. That could be enough to turn the tide.
So I had the button, so I said, I must take first.
Wasn't what you would call
I know what I was
an
thinking.
outrageous bluff, waiting to the river before you put some money in, but a bluff is a bluff. And I suppose he could have conceivably thought he was in front, even though he was...
Well, as it was, I think it may
draw.
have been a split putt by the river, was it?
Just a call from Tweedy. With what? With... Phew.
35 more.
Raise 35,000 more. Pass.
That's 10,000 donated to Roy Brindley.
Brindley seemed to be saying before the game that head up, there's a lot of feel involved. You can say you should raise every time. You can say this. You can say you should play every ace. But it does seem like you have to take the situations one by one, and it's so hard even to evaluate.
Of course, and also that these lads, the top pros, play in a competition in Barcelona, I believe, which is a heads-up competition. But of course, you start with a low blind structure. So this is the different type of heads-up where
No raise.
you're coming into the heads-up situation with massive decisions to make over big bets.
One move and it's over, and pair of fives.
They've both hit a 5.
20.
20,000.
Could this be enough?
Call.
What does Tweedy do now? He's got the best hand.
Putt getting bigger and bigger. And that has given Roy
Check,
Brindley a
check,
straight
check,
draw.
check.
He slowed down, worried. But ace changed nothing.
There he goes again, and it's a bet probably
20,000.
that Brindley can't call, even though it's a small amount. Looking at the hand from our position, he shouldn't call. He can't see what we can see. It's hard to see how he can be
I'm going to raise.
Raise.
Oh
tempted
my.
to call.
He said raise.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with raising. It's the call that's no good.
So call and a raise of 60.
Raise 60,000 more.
Marvellous
Pass.
raise from Brindley. That is superb. That's a great, because I mean, where does it leave Tweedy?
I'm flabbergasted. It looked for certain that Roy could only do 20,000 in that pot. How did he manage to get the money?
I think he correctly analysed the fact that the ace couldn't possibly have helped Tweedy, and it helped him. Well, he said it was all about feel. I'd like to know. I'd like to be inside the brain of Roy to work that one out, because it was inspired.
It was quite